Sam. Today we have some crazy news, and you have to pay attention right now because this is a very interesting time for crypto. And whether you own crypto on FTX or whether you don't, you have to be watching this market because there's so much going on, and we could have another Luna moment, another Three Arrows Capital moment. So just be careful out there. Not trying to spread FUD, just want to bring you the facts. And we also have to look at what's happening in the market right now because we are, again, at some pretty interesting points. And this might be what we need to start moving up in the market or moving down, depending on what happens next. Now, the market is a little bit red here today, about down 2% for the crypto market cap. Bitcoin down 2% over the last 24 hours, sitting underneath that $21,000 mark, which is pretty important. We also have the S&P 500 futures down about 0.42%, NASDAQ down about 0.55%. Obviously, it's pretty early in the morning, actually, in the U.S. right now, just about 4 a.m. Now, with that in mind, we are still moving up on the DXY. You can see this 100-day moving average, and I like looking at this because of the fact that we have bounced off of it several times, and going back to 2021, we've been above it. We bounced off of it here back in the beginning of 2022. About a month later, so we went below it just for a few days, and then you can see we just raced up, and we haven't retested that. So if we go down to just about 108, actually, if we close that gap, that will be an interesting point. Maybe we break through this and actually have a downtrend, which would help the market. Now, that's just an important level to watch. You can see for Bitcoin, though, we have been on an uptrend over the last about 2 or 3 weeks, but the overall is downtrend. You can see when we zoom out a little bit, we actually have been underneath the 100-day for a while as well, just popping above it a few times. So going back to about March, we were above it for a couple weeks, but since then, just a few days wicking above it, just coming above it, and then we're above it right now. So we really want to watch about where we are now, going down to about 20,200 if we go to this uptrend, and then about 20,600 if we're looking at the 100-day moving average. So it's a really interesting point that we're at. Now, moving on to FTX. So FTX has a lot of FUD or a lot of information coming out. Ran Nooner, another big YouTuber, says, get your funds out of FTX. This is financial advice. And a lot of other crypto influencers have talked about it as well yesterday. So this really came off, I think, because CZ said, as part of Binance's exit from FTX equity last year, Binance received roughly 2.1 billion USD equivalent in cash, BUSD, and FTT. Due to recent revelations that have come to light, we have decided to liquidate all remaining FTT from our books. We will try to do so in a way that minimizes market impact due to the market conditions and limited liquidity. We expect this will take a few months. Binance always encourages collaboration between industry players regarding any speculation as to whether this is a move against a competitor. It is not. Our industry is in its nascency, and every time a project publicly fails, it hurts every user and every platform. We typically hold tokens for the long term, and we have held onto this token for this long. We stay transparent with our actions. Now, if you're wondering what this is, a lot of people are speculating that they're trying to overtake FTX. I don't think that's necessarily it. CZ seems to be really focused on decentralization and the root of all crypto, why we have crypto in the first place. But Sam Bankman-Fried has been lobbying. He has tried to make crypto a little bit more regulated, and CZ doesn't seem to like that. He also says in another tweet, liquidating our FTT token is just a post-exit risk management learning from Luna. We gave support before, but we won't pretend to make love after divorce. We are not against anyone, but we won't support people who lobby against other industry players behind their backs. Onwards. So it sounds like maybe Sam Bankman-Fried was talking bad about Binance or some other project, saying maybe they're a little bit too decentralized, and now CZ just is saying that they can't support this. Now, the reason this is causing so many waves is because FTT is a large crypto, but it's still just $8 billion, fully diluted. So FTX token right now is just around a $2 to $3 billion market cap, actually just about a $3 billion market cap now. And if Binance sells 2.1 billion or $1 billion worth of FTT, and they've already put a lot on Binance itself, about $600 million worth, it would send the price down pretty drastically. And Alameda Research, who is very tied to FTX, I don't think anyone knows how much necessarily, they have a large amount. I believe it was $5 billion reported on their books. Now, what did Sam Bankman-Fried say to this? He says, a huge thank you to everyone who has supported us. We're excited to keep climbing together, and especially to those who stay level-headed during crazy times. We deeply appreciate it. A bunch of unfounded rumors have been circulating. You can see at Carolina Capital, FTX keeps audited financials, and though it slows us down sometimes on product, we are highly regulated. We've already processed billions of dollars of deposits and withdrawals today, and we'll keep going. Now, they are taking up anti-spam attacks, so they just want to be careful with all this new influx of withdrawals that no one's getting scammed. They say a lot of USD and stablecoin conversions are going on, and in the end, you should do what you want and trade where you want. We're grateful to those who stay, and when this blows over, we'll welcome everyone else back. As always, a huge thank you to our supporters and to everyone else as well. As long as you keep building and keep moving the industry forward, we'll keep building too. So it sounds like they're moving billions of dollars of crypto and stablecoin, and they aren't having really that much of an issue. Now, there is some lag on some withdrawals just because it does take time to process through all of these, but it sounds like right now it's just Binance trying to offload a significant amount of FTT tokens, which is FTX token, and it's causing some people to worry about the liquidity and the sustainability of Alameda Research, which is tied to FTX. Now, we talked about how Crypto Rand said, get all of your funds off of FTX. This is financial advice, but then he says he has nothing against FTX, but there's no upside to keeping funds on any exchange, more so on an exchange that has FUD. I'm almost sure FTX will be okay, but in the tiny chance that they are not, I wouldn't want to think that I had an opportunity to withdraw and didn't take it. And this is what I've been saying about a lot of projects throughout the year. If there is some news that comes out that seems scary, right, or there's some kind of FUD, a lot of them have been correct. Whether it's 3 Arrows Capital, whether it's Luna, whether it's Celsius, a lot of these have come out on Twitter before they came out and were made official. Now, I think what Sam Bankman-Fried sounds pretty cool, calm, and collected. What he said was pretty cool, calm, and collected, but you never know what's happening behind the scenes. And anytime there's a big drain on a withdrawal, whenever there's a large amount of withdrawals, it does hurt liquidity and can definitely cause them to kind of spiral if they have to start slowing down withdrawals. I definitely would not be on the wrong side of that. Now, personally, I am going to withdraw my tokens from FTX. I'm going to do that today. So I wanted to make this video first, but I want to tell you about it so that way you knew as well. Now, obviously, if FTX does go down and they have liquidity issues and the FTT token crashes, that will most likely force the whole market down because they do hold a lot of assets and a lot of people have money on the platform. It is the second largest crypto platform really in the world. So that is something to pay attention to. That might be a good time to step in if you are a buyer of crypto assets, and that might be the time where we see that final leg down that everyone's been waiting for either a leg up or another significant leg down and some real capitulation in the market. Most likely, I would think nothing would happen. Just like they said, Crypto Rand said. I'm guessing they're fine. It doesn't seem like something that is systemically wrong, but you never know what's happening. Maybe there are cracks forming because there are so many withdrawals and that just causes more and more liquidations or more people to withdraw. Otherwise, FTX might come out fine and they maybe made a lot of money from people withdrawing or selling and fees like that. Now, we do have to talk about the overall market, but if you have any questions on that, let me know in the comment section. And if you want to play that, because it seems to be forcing the market down a little bit, you can check out the link to BitGet underneath the video if you do want to trade. Again, don't put too much on any one exchange, but if you do want to buy and sell, you do that on exchanges or DEXs. So if you want to check out BitGet, you can long and short, and they'll give you up to $4,000, over $4,000 in different bonuses. Now, if you want to try out a stock app, there's one underneath the video, moomoo, where you can get some free stocks. And the reason I say that is because we have some big days coming up. So we have the next Fed meeting. This is December 14. But a lot of people don't realize in just 3 days, we have the next CPI reading, which is going to be big. We're expecting it to continue to fall down, but really CPI and jobs are what is pushing the Fed to continue to raise rates. And we got a lot of news on jobs last week. Twitter, to begin to begin cutting workforce on Friday, 3,700 employees to be jobless. Meta is going to apparently lay off a massive amount of people, which is good because they're spending so much money. We also have Amazon that's pausing hiring, corporate hiring for a few months, still hiring in the workforce most likely, but corporate hiring is shut down or is going to slow down. Lyft cuts 13% of its workforce. Chime is cutting 12%. Stripe is cutting 14%. And then we also have Dapper Labs, which is cutting 22% of their workforce amid the NFT downturn as well. So a lot of these white collar jobs are being cut. Still seems like there's a lot of job openings for restaurants and retail, but a lot of these white collar jobs are seeming like they're becoming more and more scarce. So if the amount of open jobs goes down, maybe the jobless goes up, and then also inflation comes down. And if the market looks a little bit shaky, it would make sense for the Fed to be a little bit more cautious moving forward. Now, they were still pretty hawkish recently, but if we get a good mix of that, obviously they will change a bit. So it's going to be interesting to pay attention on Thursday this week. Made a video on that yesterday, going over it a little bit more. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Check out the links if you want to help out the channel and if you want to try out some new platforms, and I will see you in the next video.